Hello there, and welcome back. In this video, we're looking at practice 34 in the workbook. This is on page 24 of your TABE Tutor Practice workbook. And this one is dealing with the least common multiple. Now, I don't have enough room on all of these to do the problems, so I'm going to do these on a blank sheet of paper. I will be flipping back and forth between the problem and the paper, but I will do the work on a sheet of notebook paper, and you can do it however you want to. I am going to use this M that we used to learn this skill. I am going to erase out, well, I don't want to erase the actual M, so let me try that again. You don't have to use this if you don't want to. I'm just trying to build that memory piece into your thinking, and the more I use it, the more you get to see it, the more that's going to help you remember it. So if it helps you, use it. If it doesn't, you don't have to use it. But I'm going to, because that's how I taught you to do this. So let me resize it so it's not so huge. I'm going to try to get two of these on one row. Remember, when you're dealing with this large M, that this is talking about multiples, M for multiples, which is a form of building up. So we are going to be building up for these problems, and I think that's going to work just fine. Okay, let's look back here at number 1, and I'll read the problem and then we'll figure out how to work it. Jenny jogs every 3 days and lifts weights every 4 days. How often does Jenny jog and lift weights on the same day? So if it's the same day, we need a common day, a common multiple. So let me move over to this one, and I'm going to call this number 1. And I don't need a pen quite that big. Let's try that one's perfect. So we know that Jenny jogs, and we know that Jenny lifts weights. So she jogs every 3rd day, every 3 days, and she lifts weights every 4 days. And we want to know the first day that she will do both on the same day. So I'm going to list the multiples of 3 and 4. I always start with my largest number. So I have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and the list would keep going if I chose to. 3, 6, 9, 12, there it is. 15, 18, you can list as many as you want, but 12 is the first one that is the same in both columns. So the least common multiple is 12. So if you go back to your multiple choice answers, that's going to be B, every 12 days. So every 12 days, almost 2 weeks, but not quite, she will jog and lift weights on the same day. Number 1 is B. Number 2, Juan stacks pavers in a pile and concrete blocks in a separate pile. The pavers are 3 inches high and the blocks are 8 inches high. What is the shortest height at which the piles will be equal? Where will they be the same? So if you look, if you're using the M method, this is number 2. And this time we're dealing with pavers that are 3 inches high, and our blocks are 8 inches high, and we want to know the height at which they will first be the same. So I have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I still don't have one, so I'll just keep going. 18, 21, 24. There is a common multiple. So you may have to go a little bit further on some than others. But when the piles are 24 inches high, they will be the same height. You'll have more pavers because they're smaller to begin with, but the two piles will be exactly the same height. So at 24 inches, number 2 is D. 24 inches or 2 feet. That could also be written in terms of feet. Number 3. In a video game, there is a prize every 7 days and a bonus turn every 3 days. How often does the game give a prize and a bonus turn on the same day? So there's the clue that I need to get the least common multiple, and I need to paste in an M. And in this problem, we're getting a prize every 7 days and a bonus turn every 3 days. And we want to know when the two of them will happen on the same day. So I have 7, 14, 21. I suspect I've got the one I need. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So once you get a common one, you can stop. The lowest common multiple is 21. So number 3 is B. Every 21 days. So in the instructional video, I taught you how to find the least common multiple. We are applying that skill to the word problems. Word problems are always application problems, and that's why they're a little bit tougher. Number 4. Austin places 10-gram blocks on one side of a balance and 25-gram blocks on the other side. What is the least total mass per side at which both sides of the balance are equal? Okay, so we need to find the least common multiple for those two numbers. On one side, he's doing 10-gram blocks. On the other side, he's doing 25-gram blocks. So the right side would need fewer blocks to make the weight, but we want to know at which point the two will be equal. Where will the scale balance? So starting with 25, I have 25 times 1, 25 times 2, and I can stop right there because that 50 ends in a 0. You could keep going if you wanted. That's up to you, but I would stop. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. But we have our common one. When each side of the scale has 50 grams, it will balance. So we want to choose for number 4. And I'm sorry guys to be flipping back and forth on you. That kind of makes me seasick to do that. We want them to balance, so we have 50 grams per side. That's a good science question. You could see that on a science test. Number 5. Alex has a department meeting every 5 days and a company meeting every 14 days. How often does Alex have a department meeting and a company meeting on the same day? So, I'll tell you what, I think I can squeeze that one in. Maybe on the ones that I can squeeze in, I won't make you seasick. How about that? Let's put this one right here. So we have the department meeting, and I'm going to abbreviate. That happens every 5 days. And a company meeting happens every 14 days. And we want to know when they happen on the same day for the first time. So I have 14, 28. This one, if you need to use some scrap paper to do your multiples, that's fine. If you don't do this in your head, well, I totally understand that. We're looking at 14 times 3. Actually, yes, I'm sorry. I thought I had messed up there. 14 times 3 is 42. 14 times 4 is 56. 14 times 5 is 70. I know that'll work with the 5 because it ends in a 0. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. Now, if I were taking a test and I knew it was 70, I would not sit and write all that out. I am doing that because I'm teaching you how to do this skill. If I know what the answer is on a test, I'm going to go with it. I'm not going to sit there wasting time writing those out. But for the learning stage, I like to show you where I'm getting my information. So number 5 is C. Every 70 days, he will have both meetings on the same day. Number 6. Dan and his brother install a roof every 5 days. Alonzo has a team of 5 people, and they can install a roof every 2 days. How often do Dan and Alonzo install a roof on the same day? So let's take one side for Dan. Dan and his brother take 5 days to do a job. Alonzo has a team of people, and they can do the job in 2 days. We want to know where the 2 teams meet. So 5, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. On every 10th day, these 2 crews are installing a roof on the same day. So the answer to number 6 is B, as in boy. A software company releases a new version of their app every 13 months, and makes minor updates to their app every 2 months. How often does the company release a new version and make minor updates in the same month? So we're going to do least common multiple. And I like to, on these word problems, explain what my numbers mean. So we're going to say a new version comes out every 13 months, and then the minor updates come out every 2 months. And we want to know when this will happen in the same month. So I have 13 and then 26. That ends in an even number, so I know that 2 will work. If you want to see the multiples, this almost feels like a waste of time, but I want you to see where I'm getting these things. 22, 24, 26. So the least common multiple is 26. So every 26 months, so just over 2 years, 2 years would be 24 months. So this doesn't happen often that they get both of those released on the same month. Number 7 is B, as in boy. Number 8. Janelle cooks spaghetti for dinner every 7 days and has broccoli as a side every 9 days. How often does Janelle cook spaghetti and have broccoli as a side on the same day? That sounds pretty good. I haven't had dinner. So on one side, we're going to track our spaghetti. That happens every 7 days. And broccoli happens every 9 days. And we want to know where the 2 happen on the same day. Going to start with the broccoli. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, that looks good. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63. So every 63 days, Janelle will have spaghetti and broccoli on the same day. And that's going to be answer C. Number 8 is C. Okay, number 9. Mario earns $9 per hour at his job, and Enrique earns $12 per hour. How many hours must Mario and Enrique work before they earn the same amount of money? And I am not going to squeeze this one in. I don't want to squeeze it in. I need to see what I'm doing. So let's paste in an M. I am going to number it so you can refer to that if need be. And in this one, we are talking about 2 men. Mario, who earns $9 an hour, and Enrique, who earns $12 an hour. And we are looking for the number of hours for each where the pay would be equal. So I'm going to start with Enrique. 12, 24, 36, 9, 18, 27, 36. So the least common multiple is 36. That would be dollars. So ask yourself, for Mario to make $36, how many hours did he have to work? Well, there are 4 multiples there, so it took him 4 hours to make the $36. It only took Enrique 3 hours to get to that $36. They both made $36. It's just that Enrique got there faster because he makes more per hour. So we have Mario at 4 hours, Enrique at 3 hours. And if you look back at your choices, it's going to be option A. Mario works for 4 hours and Enrique works for 3 hours. I like that question. That is a very good application of this skill. If you ever get a job in payroll, you may have to do that sometime. Okay, number 10. A book has a new chapter every 11 pages and a picture every 4 pages. How often does the book have a new chapter and a picture on the same page? So, I want to encourage you not to overlook those keywords. Remember, on a test, we're not going to have a whole page of the same kind of problem. So you have to learn how to read the problem and understand what they're asking you to do. And I apologize if you heard my cell phone beep. I'm going to mute that. I thought it was already muted. So looking at this one, we have a new chapter every 11 pages and a picture every 4 pages. So we want to know where the two will happen together. So we have 11, 22, 33, 44. Okay, I know that one's going to divide by 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, and 44. So there I can show you the 2 common multiples. The lowest common multiple for these is 44. So A, every 44 pages. Number 10 should be A. Matthew takes a math quiz every 4 days and a science quiz every 5 days. How often does Matthew take a math and science quiz, there it is, on the same day? And I do not have enough room here, so let me go back to this one and I'll paste an M down there. This is number 11. Make good use of your scrap paper. That's what it's for. So let me find, now I can't see my problem. Oh dear. Bear with me just a minute, please. There we go. Matthew takes a math quiz, so it's actually math and not Matthew that I need. Matthew's taking both quizzes, so it's math and science that I need to write. The math quiz happens every 4 days, and the science quiz happens every 5 days. And we want to know when he will have both subjects on the same day. So I have 5, 10, 15, 20, and then I have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So we're going to have 20 and 20 as our common multiples. So every 20 days, he's going to have both tests on the same day. Number 11 should be A. Every 20 days. Number 12. Raquel either practices violin or piano each night. When she practices violin, she practices for 30 minutes. When she practices piano, she practices for 40 minutes. What is the least number of nights she can practice the violin to practice the same number of minutes as she practices the piano? So there's our clue. We're looking for the same number of minutes. So I need to go to my scrap paper. I've already set this one up. I put the violin on one side, the piano on one side, and we're looking for the point that they're the same. Now to list the multiples of 40, I'm just going to say 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and then I'm going to put that 0 on there. Don't let that 0 get you rattled. You just add the 0 and you've got the multiples. And then 3, 6, 9, 12. Put your zeros on there because they're multiples of 10. And there is my common multiple. 120, 120. But when I go back to pick that answer, that's not at all what I'm looking for. They're looking for the number of nights. How many practice sessions would she have to do? So for the violin, she would have to practice 4 times to get to the 120. The piano, she would only have to practice 3 nights to make the 120. So we're looking for the question, what is the least number of nights she can practice the violin? And remember, the violin went with 4 nights, so I'm going to go with C on this one. Number 12 is C. If it had asked about the piano, I would have gone with B. So read very carefully. The owner's manual for a car recommends the air filter be changed every 3 oil changes and the timing belt be changed every 20 oil changes. How often should the air filter and the timing belt be replaced at the same time? So let's bring in our multiples frame. And I'm going to say air filter on this side, that's every 3 oil changes. And then the other thing was the timing belt, and that was every 20 changes. So these are pretty far apart. 20, 40, 60. I know that 3 will divide into 60. And I am not going to list all of those multiples. That would take me a good 2 minutes, and I won't ask you to sit through that. I know that 60 is divisible by 3. So I'm going to use the 60 as my least common multiple. So every 60 oil changes. I don't know that my car has had 60 oil changes. That's a lot. You would replace both the air filter and the timing belt at one oil change. So number 13 is C. Number 14. A large tank is being filled with water. Every 6 gallons, a red light turns on to indicate that a salt mixture should be added. Every 8 gallons, a green light turns on to indicate that a dye should be added. How often do the green and red lights turn on at the same time? And let me highlight that for you, at the same time. So the green light is going to be on one side and the red light will be on the other side, and we want to know when they will happen at the same time. And the green light comes on every 8 gallons. The red light turns on every 6 gallons. So I'm going to list my multiples. Sorry, I'm losing my microphone. I'm going to list the 8s first. 8, 16, 24, 6, 12, 18, 24. So every 24 gallons, you will need to add both mixtures at the same time. The red and green lights come on together every 24 gallons. Okay, we're almost there. Number 15. Every 4th person who enters a baseball game is given a free ball, and every 7th person gets a free shirt. How often does someone get both a free ball and a free shirt? So that's another way of saying the same. They're getting both. They're getting it's the same suggestion as these other keywords, the same page. I didn't explain that very well, did I? But I need a least common multiple. All right, so on the free ball, that is going to be every 4th person, and the free shirt is going to be every 7th person. And we want to know when a lucky person will get both of those. So on the shirt, we've got 7, 14, 21, 28, and then we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. So every 28th person who comes through the door gets both the ball and the t-shirt. So A looks good to me. Let's double check that. Number 15 is A. I always like to check against the answer key because I do make plenty of mistakes. A machine in a factory must be cleaned once every 24 hours and have its alignment adjusted every 36 hours. How often is the machine cleaned and its alignment adjusted at the same time? So I am not going to squeeze in an M. I'll just put it right over here. Right there will be fine. And we know that it is cleaned every 24 hours, every day. And it's aligned every 36 hours, every day and a half. And we want to know when this will happen at the same time. If you need scrap paper or a calculator, whatever helps you here, that's fine. But I'm going to list the multiples of 36. So I have 36 times 1, 36 times 2, 36 times 3. And let's see if we can get a match. If not, I'll go ahead and keep adding on there. But we have 24, 48, 72. There's the one I'm looking for. So every 72 hours, every 3 days, you're going to get that cleaning and that alignment happening at the same time. So number 16 will be every 72 hours, and that is D. Number 17. Dylan runs 5-kilometer races and Riley runs 12-kilometer races. What is the shortest total distance Dylan and Riley could run to run the same distance? So I'm going to come back over here. Let's try right there. This is number 17. And we have Dylan, who runs, let me look back to be sure, Dylan runs 5Ks, and Riley runs 12Ks. And we want to know at what distance they will have run the same amount. 12, 24, remember it needs to end in a 5 or 0 to work with that 5. 36, 48, 60. And this one would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. You wouldn't have to write all those out if you know that 60 works. So at 60 kilometers, they will have run the same distance. And I would go with C for that one, 17, part A. Part B says how many races does Dylan have to run to reach this distance? So if we look back over here and we count, this is why I wanted to list these. For Dylan, it took us 12 times, 12 races to get him to 60, where Riley only took 5 races to get there. But the question is, how many races must Dylan do? So it's going to take him 12. So for number 17, both parts, I would choose answer C. And you would have to answer both parts of that to get full credit. Number 18. Hannah has a karate tournament every 3 months and runs a marathon every 12 months. How often does Hannah have a karate tournament and a marathon during the same month? So here is karate, and I'm going to just call this a race. That's a marathon. karate is every 3 months. The race is every 12 months. And we want to know where the two of those are the same. And I forgot to highlight that. Same month. So I have 12, 24. I'm going to stop there. 3, 6, 9, 12. So the least common multiple is 12. And that tells me that every 12 months she will have a karate tournament and a marathon in the same month. And finally, number 19. I don't know where I got 10. Tim has a recipe that makes 4 servings of chicken and another recipe that makes 9 servings of vegetables. What is the least number of servings Tim can make to have the same number of servings of chicken and vegetables? So I'm going to pull back over here. Let's put this one in for number 19. And on one side, I'm going to put the chicken. On the other side, I'm going to put the vegetables. And the chicken makes 4 servings per recipe. The vegetables, you get 9 servings per recipe. And we want to know how many servings he would have to have before these two would equal. So 9, 18, 27, 36. I'm liking that one. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 36. So the least common multiple is 36. He would have to make the chicken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sorry, not quite. I skipped one. Did you catch it? 28. I skipped 2. I was such a hurry to get to 36 that I skipped 2 of them. Does it matter that I skipped 2? If I knew it was 36, would it matter? It could actually, because let me show you why. 36 is the common multiple. But how many times did he have to make the chicken? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times he had to make the chicken. And he only had to make the vegetables 4 times. So in this sense, it does matter if I skip multiples, because if I have to answer a question about the number of times, then I need to be able to see all those multiples. So my advice, my encouragement is don't skip multiples. But here's the answer to the question. Let's see what they're asking us. He would have to get 36 servings. That would be the answer we're looking for. So number 19 is C. All right. You have now learned about factors, breaking down, and multiples, building up. And we've practiced lots of those. If you are still having questions about them, please don't hesitate to contact your instructor. Your instructor is happy to help you if you need help. Just because you're learning at home or wherever you're doing this online, you are not alone. So don't hesitate to contact your instructor. And in our next video, we will be looking at one of my favorite things in all of math, and that is number patterns. I think you will enjoy that video. It's not easy. It's not an easy lesson, but it's fun. It's a good challenge. So we'll get that one together. I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.